I have about 10 minutes to sort of give you an overview of the PACE program, but a little bit about us. We're actually a program administrator. There's 2 program administrators in the state of Texas, and we actually are the arms and legs of the cities and counties that actually adopt the PACE program. We do all the basic heavy lifting for them. So we like to tell counties and cities that are looking at adopting this program, it's at no cost to them. We do all the heavy lifting. We're a registered municipal advisor, and what does that mean? Well, we are overseen by the SEC. We have oversight of the Municipal Securities Rulemaking Board and also the Texas State Securities Board. In a nutshell, we're just held very accountable to serving our clients and serving them well. I listed, just want to let you know where we are in the state of Texas in terms of as an administrator. We have several counties that are looking at opting in shortly, but these are the ones that we actually serve at the moment. Okay, so what is PACE? In a nutshell, I'm going to be really high level here, but it is a very simple and effective way to finance any type of water efficiency, energy efficiency, and renewable energy components on a commercial real estate project. And I stress that because other states that have adopted PACE throughout the country, they have a commercial program and a residential program. In the state of Texas, we only have commercial. So I just want to make sure that everybody was aware of that. The key thing I want to stress on this slide is that PACE allows property owners to enter into a voluntary assessment, and it's just the same status as a property tax assessment. So they're able to secure longer term debt. The PACE lenders have a more of a secure position because it's not on those assets installed on the real estate like HVAC, LED, lighting, etc., but it's tied to the real estate itself. It promotes green initiative, and I'm hearing this throughout the presentation today, economic development. That's a key thing. That's why we wanted to come in front of your group, because it is such a wonderful portal into getting economic development occurring in both older structures that need renovation and or new construction. All right, the benefits of PACE, outlined several, but the ones I think that this group would be really focused on is that you can attain approximately up to 100% financing on hard and soft costs associated with your project of the components that qualify, and that goes up to about 25% of the actual value of the real estate. It provides longer term funding, and what does that mean? That means lower debt service on that component, and it results in a typical savings from day one, and that's why I tell a lot of my people in real estate that I deal with, I said, listen, it also helps your cash flow. We know how much certain segments of commercial real estate were really affected by last year, but this offers a lifeline in terms of those assets that are maybe on the threshold of needing a little bit of an extra help in terms of getting their development in the black. All right, types of projects, you see them here on the slide. It's mainly the 4 food groups of commercial real estate, but also if it is private in nature, it'll probably qualify, or it can be, PACE can be utilized for that. We cannot utilize PACE for any type of public properties in terms of like fire stations, police stations, courthouses, etc. If it's private, it'll work. Okay, qualifying improvements. I like to tell people there's basically 3 buckets that we're dealing with here, and it's energy efficiency upgrades, HVAC, LED lighting, windows, doors, that type of stuff. Water efficiency items, low flow fixtures, toilets, sprinkler systems. In fact, one of the first groups to utilize PACE was Simon Properties. They used them for a portfolio of malls, and they saw a significant amount of savings by utilizing it. Renewable energy, we're basically getting called regarding solar panels. But that's another bucket that we tell people you can utilize PACE with. I love this slide because my background is commercial real estate and finance, so I just really just love harping on this, but I'm not going to bore you with the details on the, you can see the assumptions on the left-hand side of the screen. The thing that I want you to really focus on is the charts on the right-hand side of the page. On a conventional loan that you could probably get, you're negative all the way to year 7. It's cash outflow until year 7, and then you break even right here at between year 11 and 12. Now with PACE, because you're able to fund 100% of the hard and soft costs, you're looking at basically savings from day 1 or no cash outflow. So you have that basically $100,000 in utility savings and an annual payment on your debt service of $90. So you're in the black from day 1. I tell a lot of my developer buddies, I said, listen, this is something that you need to really look at if you can replace some portion of your capital stack, which that's a good segue to the next slide. Right here, we have a comparison of before and after PACE. PACE, because of what it can do, I mentioned it can go up to 25% of the value of the property. You can incorporate that and replace more expensive mezz debt or pref equity in your capital stack. And at the end of the day, what you're doing is you're actually lowering the cost of your weighted average capital. That's what it's about. And going from, like in this example, 8.8 to 8.1, that could make or break a deal, especially in today's time when margins are very, very thin. And you're dealing with increasing construction costs and everything else. What penciled out a month ago may not pencil out this month. What we tell people is, oh gosh, Glenn, you should have called me 4 months ago because I could have utilized PACE. Fear not. What you can do is, if your property has been recently developed, we can do what's called a look back and utilize retroactive PACE, which in the state of Texas, we can go back basically 24 months from your CO. And again, it allows you to pull out some of that more expensive debt and replace it with your cheaper PACE component. I tell people, and a great example is a hotel. You built it, you opened up the doors, second quarter 2020. I guarantee you didn't meet your pro forma, right? So those numbers need help, and that way you can use something like PACE in order to help that cash flow component. Not to quote Jerry Maguire, but show me the sustainability and I'll show you the money. And that's going to help. It's going to be a win-win for everyone around. Now, the benefits of PACE, and right, quite frankly, why did Harris County adopt the program, and why are they using it? Well, again, what we've been talking about all morning long, it promotes economic development. It creates local jobs for contractors. It improves your property values and your tax base. That can only help with the city and the county with getting tax resources. It increases the energy efficiency in buildings. And basically, a lot of municipalities are dealing with trying to meet trying to meet sustainability goals, and this helps them get there. It does not utilize any type of taxpayer dollars, and that's a big thing. So at the end of the day, what I want you to take away is PACE provides a portal for economic development. PACE also is a win-win in that it improves cash flow. PACE is one of these programs that it is truly a win-win-win. When you look at being able to replace more expensive debt in your capital stack, I think it's just, it's very simple. And we're here to help. We're here to, I know I've thrown a lot at y'all in about 10 minutes, but at the end of the day, I'm here. You've got my email address. I can give Deanne or Bethany my contact information, but we're here to spread the word because I think that can help so many people out there with their either renovating an existing structure or developing new properties. In fact, just the other day, I received a call about a potential development in Harris County, and they are looking at PACE very, very strongly. So with that, I'll take any questions, and thank you again, everyone, for having me on board. Really enjoyed it.
Well, thank you, Glenn. I'm sure our committee members may have some questions. I want to just open up the floor.
And this is Mike. Thank you again, Glenn. Courtney, thank you for opening up questions to the floor. What I saw in your kind of model that you use 6% as the financing structure. Is that a typical, or how is that determined? Is that a point plus LIBOR, or is that a flat rate? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Right, Mike, great question. The way I like to answer that is, we're the administrator and we're not the PACE lender. I like for the PACE lenders to answer that, but at the end of the day, it's going to be it's going to be less than your typical mezz financing out there, but it's going to be on a case-by-case basis and a property-by-property type basis in terms of what they're going to actually quote, but it will be a lower rate. But we do have on our website a list of capital providers that actually provide PACE financing that can probably give you a better and more fine-tuned answer to that question.
Is it? Thank you, Glenn, for that. Is that also? Are you finding for developers who are doing the look-back period, once they have went from construction to permanent? Are you finding that the look-back period is still advantageous for folks to do once they have some, kind of more advantageous permanent debt on the books?
Yeah. It just depends on their situation and what they've structured on their deal, Mike. It's on a case-by-case basis. But I would say this: if you're a developer and you are in a position where you are interested in looking at it, please just give us a call and we can put you in touch with some of our lenders out there that can probably answer that.
Very good. Thank you, Glenn. Any other questions?
Courtney, I have two more, but I don't want to highlight.
Please. Is there anyone else that has any questions? Okay, go ahead and continue, Michael.
Glenn, can you talk about timeline for approvals, for what how long that takes, and also lien rights in the capital stack for for companies, how that works? Right.
In terms of timing, we can typically close as quickly as maybe a month. We've had some that have drawn out a lot longer than that. It just depends on where everybody is in terms of you've lined up already your senior lender and you've got everything lined up on your capital stack. In terms of the lien component, again, I mentioned that it takes the same position as a tax lien. So you're going to be in front of that first lien position. And what we tell people in that case, a lot of the lenders were a little skittish at first about, well, I don't want another, person in front of me, but it's not the entire PACE component that's going to be in front of them. For instance, if the property were to go into foreclosure, it's going to be only that portion of the PACE component that's past due, and that's at 1 or 2 payments that have been missed. So it's not the full, say, $10 million of PACE. It's going to only be those portions that have been missed. And a lot of times, those first senior positions will take care of that. Did that answer your question, Mike?
Yes, thank you.
You bet.
I have one question for you in the chat.
Yes. Okay. Let me look at the chat and see. I don't see it. Can you? Are you in a position where you can ask?
Sure. The question is this only for the private properties? Does it apply to the properties purchased with the public money?
That's correct. It's only for private assets, private properties within Texas.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions from the committee? Glenn, this was extremely interesting.
Well, thank you. I know I threw a lot at y'all, but again, if anybody has any questions or would like to drill down, I'm more than happy to speak with them individually.
Very good. Well, thank you. We certainly appreciate you joining us and sharing this as construction prices go up, and we're about to hit the hot summer months, et cetera. Energy efficiency is always something big, but you presented it in a different way, on ways that we can really utilize it as a financing tool, and a way to help our properties cash flow. So thank you for that. Very interesting.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you.